I have a healthy apple and a diseased apple. Those are my testicles.
Snow
My
White.
healthy apple and my diseased apple. They're the size of apples. That's why jeans are so uncomfortable.
Welcome to episode 199
Where we read books.
of The Mandalorian.
You know
That's
what?
not it.
We shouldn't
Of watching
say
complain.
that it's like books. Or we should say, welcome to the podcast. It's like a book read by a guy who can't read. 'Cause that's what it is.
It's funny to make fun of people and their disabilities, their learning disabilities.
I know that.
That's why I do it.
That's why I do it. It's so obvious.
I go home and cry. Ask my wife, am I normal? And she says, no, for the last fucking time, leave me alone.
My boy, you know what my boys think the funniest joke is? They think that thing, Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Bob the Builder, no, Bob, just sign the divorce papers. It's over. They think that's hilarious. Can we fix it, Bob the Builder? No, we can't. Just sign the divorce papers so we can go on.
Just like a school thing? This is what they learn?
Who knows?
How to treat your wife?
These kids nowadays, everything they learn comes off memes and YouTube and TikTok.
For sure, yeah.
And it's fucked because
Grinder.
fuck, can you imagine? But there's just so much that it's just like
I was thinking the other day, what is their dating app?
yeah, can you imagine what
Is
it's
it
going to be like?
Facebook? Because we don't get access to that because we don't use it.
I don't
The
use
dating
Facebook.
part of Facebook.
Oh, there's a dating part?
As far as I
I
remember,
didn't know that.
I think it only clicks if you are dating. I think there's a dating portion.
I remember
If
in
I'm
Facebook-
wrong, let me know.
In
because they
Facebook, you
did.
would put on your relationship status.
Yeah, but Facebook introduced like this dating side of the Facebook app that
Really?
only like went into play if you were dating.
I
If you actually went to
haven't
go use
used
it.
Facebook like the Facebook part in Christ. I want to say 10 years.
Since Christ was born.
But I do use the Facebook Marketplace. I do use
Oh, yeah,
that because I like finding like other Star Wars nerds or other drum nerds around here that I can go buy shit from. But no, I don't know anything about that
Well,
Facebook at all.
Marketplace is the only thing to use now for selling and buying.
Drugs.
That too. Food, oddly enough.
You get food on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah.
No shit.
Not
It's
like
a commercial for Facebook.
It's not like Uber Eats or anything, but it's like people who are going to make things in their house and then sell them to you.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so you could look up pretty much anything. Like
Can I find 19-year-old
butt plugs.
Korean female goats for eating? For eating?
I don't know if goats live that old.
Bah.
Welcome to episode 199 of Watch and Complain. We are talking about The Mandalorian, season finale, episode 308. Yeah.
Yeah.
You loved this episode. Yeah. You thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I bet the ending left you going,
This whole episode had parts left me going, uh-huh. And then I texted a friend of mine from the United States and said a certain thing. And he was like, you take that back right now. So I'll let you know
I'm
what that
guessing
is.
it's something about Grogu.
Oh, man, is it ever?
So, the plot, if you can call it that.
All right, everybody.
I want to
Now,
say that I enjoy The Mandalorian.
I
But
want
I
to
know that
make
Rob
a bet
gets ticked off at things.
that you make
46.
a pronunciation
Yeah.
error in the first paragraph.
Bo-Katan
And he's going to put up a
Kryze.
little ding right here, a little one whenever he fucks up.
Bo-Katan Kryze. I've been practicing. Which was just do everything perfect.
You rehearse this before you go over.
Bo-Katan Kryze and her reconnaissance squad retreat from Done it.
One.
Moff Gideon's base. Upon returning to the Mandalorian flagship.
Two.
Okay, we can stop that now.
Nope.
Axe Woves sends the remaining Mandalorian fleet to reinforce the planetary troops.
I really fucking liked when Axe Wolves is flying up to the ship, all the weather and all the atmosphere as he's talking and it's raining. I thought that was such an awesome
Isn't that the armor?
No, he was flying up to the armor. She was in the ship, and then she sent out the reinforcements. Okay. But he was flying up to the ship to start piloting it to fly it into the base. But just as it was so atmospheric, and it added so much to just that whole scene of him flying up and hearing the fucking weather around him. I really like that.
It felt like that part was pointless.
I didn't think so. There's some parts that are fucking pointless. The fighting Mandalorians are not one of them.
While he uses the ship as a decoy for attacking Imperial TIE squadrons.
Yeah, TIE squadrons.
TIE squadron.
TIE squadrons. That's the new person on the Empire. It's a dude with black and white.
Come on, with all these names. Jesus.
You got fucking 3. 2 or 3, one of them, I can't remember.
With assistance from Grogu, the Mandalorian escapes from captivity and seeks out Gideon.
So you can tell in this show that this 3rd season was not supposed to have Grogu.
He was supposed to be still doing Jedi training?
Yeah, he was supposed to be gone because
it
feels like every scene that has Grogu, I imagine that the page is all typed out with the entire script, and then someone has got a Post-it note and wrote, and Grogu is there too, and just posted it on, because that is what it fucking feels like.
Adam and Post.
The whole time is just like, also Grogu is there. Why? What purpose does he serve? Doesn't matter. He's there.
He's learning.
He's walking in fucking IG-12. So he's walking around in IG-12. Okay. And Din Djarin gets captured. Wow, I wonder who's going to...
let me get there.
So this whole part... You just fucking said it!
Okay.
So Din Djarin is captured, and they've wrapped him, his hands are all tied, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, who could possibly fucking rescue him? And then you hear, no, 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 bang, bang, kick, kick, and you're like, oh, wow, Grogu, great. Like, whenever Grogu shows up now, it used to be like, ha, I like Grogu, he's fun. But now, you're like, okay, he's still here, huh?
I like him learning like where to
I'd rather
not
him
do
do
things
it elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that was the point. You're right. Fighting off numerous Beskar-enhanced stormtroopers along the way.
And what's cool is Star Wars fans will know this, like hardcore Star Wars fans, and I won't say it because you'll have to guess it. These older stormtroopers, the ones from the ones that are white, who are they? Whose artwork are they modeled after? That's right.
Fucking know. Joel
Dinosaurs. That's right. Joel Dinosaur, the guy that wrote all the original drawings of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Also drew a stormtrooper, and they said, "Holy shit! Do you remember Joel Dinosaur made those white stormtroopers?"
That's that army dude.
Yes, the army dude. Him and Joel Stormtrooper. So there was army dude and Joel Stormtrooper that were doing art for Star Wars. That's how it all started back in '77.
So who is this artist?
Ralph McQuarrie. For fuck's sakes.
I don't care. I have no respect for this.
How can you not respect Ralph McQuarrie?
Because it doesn't matter.
But you'll respect Joel Dinosaur.
Yeah. He did the Jurassic Park stuff.
Joel Dinosaur. Remind me never to write a script with you where you got to come up with names. This is Mr. Aquafina. This is Mr. Tire Iron. You're just going to look around shit around your garage. Be like, this is Mr. Tire Iron.
Hopefully I'm not in this room.
And Dr.
Jesus.
Piece of Wood.
Piece of wood. That's actually good. That would work.
Dr. Piece of Wood.
Dr. Piece of Wood. Along the way, the Mandalorian and Grogu discover cloning tanks, which are filled with clones of Gideon.
That was cool.
And subsequently destroy them.
Woo!
So who cares? Bo-Katan.
You knew that was going to happen.
Oh yeah, but it's like
it was cool that they were. So I do like that in the last one. The Dark Troopers were machines, but they were trying to build these machines that, not that they had the Force, but they were ultra super strong, right? But then fucking Luke Skywalker just mowed them down, destroyed them with the Force. And then they bring in Pershing at the start of this, not the start of the season, like mid this season, and they're trying to, Pershing, you got to keep on working on your clone technology, dude. All the while, you know that's what Gideon was doing in the background. So I really did like that Gideon was working on clones of himself.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to spoil it, that have a certain attribute that I thought was neat.
If you are developing a room of clones, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be smart enough and have a off-site another room of clones.
That's what he did.
So he does have another site of clones somewhere?
No, if you were paying attention,
You just said he
I'll
did.
spoil something for you by the end of it.
Bo-Katan and the armor lead the Mandalorian reinforcements into the Imperial base
This had to be pointed out to me, by the way. I didn't notice it.
and engage in a lengthy skirmish with Gideon's
shit.
stormtroopers.
I saw a video of Katie Sackhoff, like all excited to be in London. There was some Star Wars celebration. What's the PC way to say this?
was she
She's a
wearing?
very attractive woman, but I almost like, perfect example. Cassandra Peters is a gorgeous woman, but her as Elvira drives me up the wall. I love it.
Gotcha.
Right? Makes me crazy. Katie Sackhoff is an attractive woman, but much better looking as Bo-Katan. Almost like Jerry Ryan as 7 of 9. Very attractive woman outside of it, but the 7 of 9 outfit, there's just something about it, and I think it's the character and what she brings to it that adds to the sexuality and the attraction of the character. But I'm looking at Katie Sackhoff.
I'm guessing you like the sexy secretary with the tight hair.
Oh, of course.
Then that makes sense.
But I'm looking at her as
dominatrix.
Bo-Katan, and I'm like, I like the Bo-Katan look. And the Katie Sackhoff look, I'm like, she's attractive, but I'm like, I like it back in that Bo-Katan. Also, you know what
That's
it is,
okay.
too?
You're allowed to say
I'm
that.
not a huge fan of her as a blonde. Even I wasn't a huge fan of her as a blonde in Battlestar Galactica.
Really?
But I like her as a redhead. And I usually don't like redheads.
The Mandalorian confronts Gideon,
Mandalorian.
who reveals that the clones would have been able to use the Force, but is unable to match Gideon's
I
own
did
suit
like
of
that they
Beskar
didn't
armor.
say the most hated Star Wars word. It's almost like the N-word of Star Wars that nobody wants to say.
Grogu?
So the way that you get them to have the Force is, remember in episode 1, he said the Force comes from the midichlorians that are life form in all of our bodies. And it's funny how Obi-Wan says to Qui-Gon Jinn, he's like, this kid's midichlorian count is fucking through the roof. It's like 50,000, higher than Yoda's. So the way to get I imagine, to get a being to have the Force is give him a whole shit ton of midichlorians, which is what he must have done to these clones. But it's funny that nobody ever said the M word.
I think it'll come up eventually.
I
And
kept
it'll be
on
like,
waiting for him to go, we gave them midichlorians over 50,000 and you killed them. No, nobody ever said it.
They should have someone like a nerd. They're like excited about the technology.
I'm an excited nerd.
and he's like, and the meta, and then get interrupted. We don't say that.
Sir, what about the midichlorians? Kill that
He
man.
just gets choked out.
Joel Dinosaur, sacrifice that man.
He's off camera. Bo-Katan arrives and deals. Sorry. Bo-Katan arrives and duels Gideon with the
That's
Darksaber.
fucking 4.
That was probably like 6 or 7 now. Allowing the Mandalorian to lead
Mandalorian.
the fight and defeat Gideon's Praetorian guards with Grogu. This had to be your favorite scene.
Lord, dude. And this is where I texted Blake and I'm like, dude, Grogu has to go away. And he was like, how fucking dare you?
We thought he would be tethered with this robot, and then he gets out of the robot, or the robot falls. I don't remember how he gets out of the robot.
Who cares?
But now he's doing flippy shit on the lights.
And he's using the Force and shit. And I'm like, just
The
come
Force
on,
thing at the end
man.
was okay.
It's fine.
But the flippy shit on the lights.
It's so stupid. I mean, it's just stupid, And look, call it whatever
It's
you want.
cute.
It's stupid. I think it's stupid.
but it's for the casuals.
And it's for I was talking to a buddy of mine this morning from work, or a work colleague, I should say. And he says, we had the exact same conversation. He's like, I don't get why Grogu's still there. And this other guy brought up, he's like, Grogu is the only reason my son watches the show. And I'm like, yep. I said, and that's why he's still there.
Yep.
But the whole time I'm watching, I'm like whenever that shit starts happening, I'm just like,
It's
I
funny.
start looking around. I don't care.
You walk into the toy store. What do you see most?
Oh, fuck. Grogu's everywhere, man.
You have to look for the Mandalorian.
I don't. There's Boba Fett right there.
You have to look for Bo-Katan.
And there's Mandalorian over there. But you know what? In all argument, there's Grogu right there.
You know what's not selling?
In front of the
well?
Mandalorian.
Sasha Banks' character.
Yeah. Costco Reeves.
Yeah, there's something that got released for her, like the helmet or something like that, and no one's buying it. It's on clearance or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's
Bummer.
unfortunate. I like her as an actor. And as a person.
I bet you do,
And
pervert.
as a wrestler.
I bet you do.
Gideon destroys the Darksaber, but is overpowered by the... I'm surprised that they
sucked.
destroyed the
That
Darksaber.
sucked. He just goes, crink. He kills it. I'm like, fuck you.
I'm like,
This
what's the
thing has been
point?
around for like 1,000 years, and you just go, crink.
Yeah,
That was bullshit.
I didn't like
It would have made more sense if it was he snaps or something, and then it throws up and goes over the edge, and it's lost forever. That's
Lost
fine.
forever.
But, dude, don't fucking crink and it's destroyed.
You have to bring it back.
Unless you destroyed it with like such force, you know what I mean? Like it somehow got like just evaporated. Like you destroyed so much it's
fighter
just dust,
landed on
right?
it. Yeah.
But instead, it's just crink.
But is overpowered by the combined efforts of the Mandalorian, Bo-Katan,
Mandalorian.
and Grogu. Wolves rams the Mandalorian
That was
capital
awesome.
ship
That
into
was
the
cool,
Imperial
man.
base, and Gideon is consumed by the resulting blast. That could have killed the sword.
Right?
Grogu protects Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian
Mandalorian.
from the blast with a force bubble. He's a Pokemon.
Sure.
So, yeah, that was a cool moment, but the flippy stuff didn't do anything for me. I just looked over at my wife. I'm like, Rob's gonna hate this. Just like the last episode, Rob's gonna hate this part.
And it's, you know what, like it's not that I hate
You
Grogu. He needs to go away and then come back. You know what I mean? Like he needs to go do his training like he was supposed to do with Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka, and then show up in parts of Ahsoka, and then show up again later on in The Mandalorian.
What you want is serious Star Wars that is a good show. You don't want the casual shit.
Yes and no, and I understand it's hypocritical, but I like the easy to access stuff, and I also like the hardcore nerd stuff. And I find this show
What's the easy access stuff?
the Grogu's and the Lizzo and Jack Black episode when there's so many little cameos and
The
and
Gungans.
yeah, like little things like that, right? That's funny.
The little birds that were made for the one movie so that they could sell some toys.
Yeah.
Those little birds they're birds from
I know what
Star
you're talking
Wars.
about. I just want to see if
okay.
you'll.
I don't know what they're
figure out
called.
Okay.
No, I have no idea.
But like stuff like that, yeah, that's fun. But then I also like, R5D4 having a little cut in his head, and only if you remember what that's from, or you know what I mean. Like, so I like how seeing Zeb show up.
Was it this episode or the last episode that had the mouse droid?
Yeah, it was the last one with the R5D4 getting surrounded by the mouse droids. That was great.
I turned to the wife. I'm like, Rob's gonna love this part.
I love that I get talked about so much over there.
That's it.
I've been in bed. You're probably dreaming and sleeping. But man, bet Rob has a humongous penis. And your wife's like, stop it.
You're not wearing pants. I can tell.
That I got a humongous penis. It just fades into the. You know what I realized today too?
It just falls on the floor.
I'm wearing a jacket, and my jacket is like this, like polka dot, or what do you call it? It's plaid, black and white plaid. So I put on this jacket, and it looked like my shirt was a smaller jacket version of my jacket. So I almost looked like a Lego character that was putting the same thing on top. It was funny. But, yes, so I like the casual stuff, and I like the easy to access stuff. I like the nerd stuff. I like the casual stuff. I just wish that Grogu would go away and make you miss him and come back. Like Keel. Keel was gone for a few episodes. Almost, arguably 3 or 4 episodes, and then he comes back. You're like, I like that. That's fun.
I am good with Grogu.
I'm
But
down with Grogu.
when they go a little too hard with the flippy shit because they want to be Yoda,
Yep.
and that was a bad idea in the first place.
Yep.
Like, just retcon that shit.
Yep.
Just have him crawl around. I'm fine with that.
That's right.
Even that looks weird, but
Even the way he did it when he was Luke Skywalker, how Luke would like move his hand like that and Grogu would float up and go down, float up and go down. That's how you do it. Even if Grogu wants to do that, use himself with the Force, he can make himself go up and down.
he's
That's
used
a
to
great
floating
idea.
in that pod. It's fine.
Right?
We're used to it. Gideon destroys the dark. I said, what the?
Jesus Christ. And then it's
We're after the battle.
yeah.
After the battle, the Great Forge at the heart of Mandalore is restarted, and the Mandalorian. See, I thought that big ship hitting the forge would be like that restarted the forge. Yay, we got heat. But no, it wasn't. We just put some fire on it. We finally built it.
So then I have a question. I want to know your opinion of it. And I can't figure out whether it's lazy writing
Okay.
or
Ask the question.
lazy writing, because it's lazy
One or
writing.
the-
The
one or
answer is
the other,
lazy
yeah.
writing. Bo-Katan doesn't wear a helmet. The armorer
Has to wear the
supports
helmet.
the old ways,
Yeah.
right?
It's
But
the
then
way.
the armorer's looking at Bo-Katan's like, I guess you can just walk in both worlds. Anyone who wants to walk in both worlds, I guess, I don't know, I don't care. Some of you do it, some of you don't. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Why was there not a bigger argument or why was there not a bigger plot point of the old ways versus the new ways? I feel like it was just
yeah.
kind of pissed away.
It was kind of pissed away in a way where it's like, oh, you saw the mythosaur.
Yeah.
That's our clue that we need to change. We need to accept people for who they are. And like, we can still do the old ways. We can have clans that have different ways. It's fine. As long as we have the base.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I guess what for me would have made a bit more, like would have gave it a bit more gravity, and this is another complaint I'll get into in a second, is why didn't the armor take off her helmet and be like,
Because
I can walk in both worlds.
because
Din Djarin
she
can walk in both worlds.
Believes in that side, like the old,
old
way.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's okay. That's the whole point, right?
I guess
Accept
it just felt
where you are.
very like muddy. Like
Yeah.
almost like you guys kind of don't know what you want to do. Like, yeah, fine, do both.
Like,
Great.
what happens if someone in the old clan takes off their helmet now?
That's what I mean.
Do you have to switch clans?
Do they? Can they walk both ways?
yeah.
Who's allowed to? Who's not allowed to?
Can you be in the same clan and have a helmet on?
It just felt like it was very kind of wishy washy. I didn't like that. So I got 2 complaints. That was one of them. So 3 complaints technically. And then you brought up mine saying,
Should I finish?
No.
Okay.
Should I finish? I say that a lot.
To yourself?
The
If
girls
you're
are
just
like,
sitting there.
You got 30 minutes.
If
I
you're
was like,
all
should
alone,
I finish?
why are you talking to yourself?
You got 30 minutes left on the clock. That would be like if you're with a hooker and you pay for an hour and you finish in like 50 minutes.
Then
Do
you
you-
then
do you
you
just-
talk, you chit chat, or
what are you
you
talking
you,
about,
you pretty much can do whatever you want.
No, you can't kill her. You would kill her. But I mean, I think I'd just let her. It sounds
You just let her
disgusting.
lay
Just let her
there?
leave. No, just let her leave.
You could, but then you're not getting your money's worth.
But you got your money's worth.
So do you believe that if you have hit your climax,
Mm-hmm.
she should be able to just leave? She's done?
What else are you gonna do?
You paid for the time. You didn't pay for the climax.
See, I think you technically paid for the climax. That's how I think prostitution
See,
works.
I'm a frugal person, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm paying for an hour, I get that hour.
So you're gonna have sex that whole hour. But then what if?
That'd be nice.
What if you reach like that 55-minute mark and you're like, okay, great, now I'm gonna go off, but then you can't do it. Doesn't that feel like then that the whole thing was a waste?
If you had to, you pay for the next hour.
I wouldn't do that. See, I would be happier.
You're not.
I would be happier to go off after 5 minutes than to try to take up the entire hour, get to 55 minutes and realize, oh, you know what, I'm not going to come. This isn't going to work for me. Because I wouldn't buy another fucking hour.
But I would assume that you're not paying per climax.
Who the hell's going to have... I am nowhere near the age where I could have 2 climaxes in 2 hours.
I know, but certain people can or would try to do it,
I guess so.
like continue after, right?
I guess I always saw prostitution as you're not paying for time. I never took the ideology of you're paying for the time.
You
it
know-
makes sense when I hear it, but I'm more you pay for the climax.
we're talking like when you visit Amsterdam, like that kind of thing.
Why? Is there a lot of hookers in Amsterdam?
Yeah, the red light district.
I thought that was all like sex shows and stuff.
No, this is literally they're on this. They can be, but they're on display to be hookers. Like you go there and you have sex with them. Yeah.
We got to do our show from Amsterdam.
We don't need to. We can do edibles here now.
But I
We
want
should
to
do edibles.
see some hookers.
Edibles on the show.
Oh my God! Can you imagine
when we're doing 3 episodes?
That would be nightmarish. You and I would just be like, just staring at the fucking
talking
ceiling.
about the same thing over and over again. Oh wait, we do. The Mandalorian formally adopts Grogu, and Grogu becomes what is it?
Din Grogu.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah. Allowing him to. That's when it clicked in how the naming thing worked. And I was like, oh, of course. Yeah.
Well, it's stupid how it's Bo-Katan Kryze of House Kryze. Yeah, Bo-Tron-Katron. Bo-Katan Kryze of House Kryze. Axe Woves of House Woves. Din Djarin
of the Dins.
Din.
So like they flip it?
I guess.
Because Djarin's his first name. And Din is the last name.
Yep.
Well, not net. You know what I'm saying. So Grogu took the last name because they got married.
Yep. That's what happens.
But the other,
he's old enough. He's 50.
But the other characters are opposite.
Sure. Maybe it's because he's
Woves,
special.
Maybe Axe is the last name.
So he's
his
Woves
name is
of House Axe.
Yeah.
Reeves of House Koska.
Yeah, maybe that kind of works.
Then
all this time we had no idea.
And I'm going to be called Dick Cockers.
The armor
Cockers of House Dick.
Armor of House the. She was Russian the whole time. Afterwards, the Mandalorian takes up honest contract work with Carson Teva and moves into a cabin on the outskirts of Navarro's capital as previously offered to him by Grief Karga, while IG-11 is rebuilt by the Anzilians, yeah. Mechanics to serve Navarro's new marshal. That was dumb.
Yeah, the little fucking circle fade out at the end. I was like,
this was the casual yay ending for the casuals. Whereas I'm guessing you were there too, going, there's got to be a clip here. They're going to do like a stinger.
Yeah,
nothing.
Nope.
And I thought they were, just like you said previously, I thought they were going to lead into the next show.
Yeah, with Thrawn or Ahsoka. But so one thing. So I already forgot what my complaints were, except one. I am not sure. I think I got a hair on my eye. I am not sure how often Pedro Pascal is in that suit.
Oh, yeah. I think that all the time.
I'm watching it and I'm like,
or anyone else who's in a helmet.
Well, whenever, and this is disgusting and I apologize, but whenever Bo-Katan's hips are moving a certain way, I can tell that's...
You don't think they could find a double?
They might be able to, but when you look at Katie Sackhoff walk when she hasn't got the helmet on, she has a certain hourglass figure.
I'm just wondering if it's the stunt doubles.
Could be. But I mean, there's sometimes where I'm sure. Holy moly! That was loud. But I'm sure that it's not sure. I hope it's her because it's a nice ass
every single time.
But
you're
with
looking
Pedro
at some dude's ass,
especially a lot of the stunt stuff, I don't think that's him.
No.
And I have a sneaky suspicion that of all the shows that we're watching, especially near the end when the majority is action, I want to say like maybe 30% of it is him inside that fucking helmet.
Probably less.
Right? Like that
you
sucks.
You have to wonder. And it probably would be talked about in one of those, what do they do with these Star Wars things? Like they do the after thing where they show the behind the scenes a bit just to like milk the
they call it Star Wars teats.
Cow.
Teats of Star Wars.
Yeah.
After teats.
What do they call that? They do it for Marvel too.
After teats.
After teats. We should get hired by Marvel.
That's right, to do After Teats. This is After Teats with Pedro Pascal.
We'll do a YouTube
Hey, Pedro
show.
Pascal, how many fucking those stupid Yoda puppets did you break?
Actually, that would get really popular if we were going back behind the scenes.
We would do would get popular.
We go behind the scenes and ask the questions that people are really interested in.
We get fucking thrown off that in a heartbeat.
Who's in that suit right now? Just tackle him. Take the helmet off.
Sniff your tights?
It's Will Ferrell.
Gone. I'd be thrown out.
Or it's what's his name that's in Jump Street that's always in these things.
Channing Tatum?
Yeah, we take off the helmet and it's him.
I'm rubbing my body parts all over the Bo-Katan Kryze armor. They're like, sir,
No, we can't do that.
stop that.
You just
Thrown out.
you put on the Bo-Katan, the Bo-Katan,
And then poor Katie Saga puts on, it feels like someone's had a boner in
been
here.
stretched. Just in the front.
Just in the front for like an inch and a half. Just enough for my labia.
So this casual ending just really annoyed me.
Stupid.
I was just like,
yeah.
really?
So, yeah.
It was okay,
It was, I don't think Pedro Pascal's in that suit a lot. Also, was I reading it? I might have been reading it on Instagram. I might have been seeing a video for it. I can't remember. But apparently, if you rewatch the season, the parts
Backwards.
where it is, start from the end and then go to the front, and then it becomes a story about a guy that finds a little frog. But Moff Gideon has got a mustache for the majority of the parts where it's Moff Gideon, and in this last show, the Moff Gideon that fights with them doesn't have a mustache.
So he's a
So
clone.
a lot of people are thinking he's a clone.
So to
That Moff Gideon's
bring him
still
back in
alive.
because he's a good actor and we want to keep him around.
Giancarlo Esposito fucking rules. Giancarlo Esposito is the best bad guy that Star Wars has had in a long fucking time.
I love his facial reactions.
He's wonderful.
He's very emotive.
Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic I loved him in fucking Rogue One.
What?
He's over there. He's in there
great.
somewhere.
Where's Waldo? Like, fuck.
But Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic is awesome. He's one of the main baddies in Rogue One. But yeah, I just loved him as a bad guy. He was so good. And the one bad guy I'm looking forward to, and Philip put him right here, is Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's gonna kill it,
I
man.
put it in the last episode.
Oh yeah, he's gonna. I didn't watch that. So I don't watch your stuff. But it was, yeah. So didn't end the way I wanted it to. Grogu needs to go away. But overall, I enjoy watching the show. Out of all the Star Wars shows, it has been the consistently best one. The one that comes after it.
Well, Andor's pretty good too.
That's what I mean. The one that's in second place for me is a real fight between Andor and Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I think Andor wins out because that last show of Andor,
After the third episode,
when his mom died and she comes up and she's like rides up against the Empire, I fucking loved that ending. I thought that was great. And then followed by
they're doing a season 2, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Followed by Boba Fett, which was good. I'm watching Visions right now. Visions is a lot of fun.
Is Vision's the one that does the backstage stuff?
No, Visions is Japanese, a lot of Japanese artists doing Star Wars stuff. So it's like anime or like Studio Ghibli type of stuff, but Star Wars. It's really neat.
So they're given a story and they have to animate it?
They're only like each one is like 13 minutes long. So it's like Yojimbo, but with
So
Star
it's
Wars.
the Animatrix.
No,
But
not
Star Wars.
Not like that. It's like
Really?
It's like Yojimbo, but Star Wars. Even though
Like
Star Wars is based
Love,
on Yojimbo.
Sex, and Robots, but with Star Wars.
But all hand drawn animation.
Yeah.
So you should watch it. They're only 13 minutes
So
long.
Animatrix.
But it's Mandalorian still remains the best of the Star Wars shows until I don't know what's going to be better, the Acolyte or Ahsoka.
What's Acolyte about?
An Acolyte is, so when you're a young Jedi, you're a Padawan.
Okay.
And when you're a young Sith, you're an Acolyte. So it's about somebody ascending and
other
being
side.
a Sith, yeah.
And how does that connect to the current storyline? Will it?
It might, but if you're a Jedi and you're becoming
Is this
like
all
Grogu,
we know about the Acolyte? Is it just that he's an Acolyte? Or she?
I'm sure there was stuff mentioned at the Star Wars Celebration.
So this
didn't
isn't a
notice.
story known in the Star Wars. This is completely
not
new?
that I know of. There may be, right, but nothing that I'm aware of.
All right.
I am the Star Wars head of
That's why I'm asking you.
climaxification.
You're like that robot in She-Hulk, but for Star Wars.
I never watched She-Hulk. But yeah, it's a good show. It's just, if they could get rid of Grogu, and I have Grogu tattooed to me, so it's not like I don't like him.
I'm okay with the Grogu stuff. I just don't
want
when he
him.
goes
I just
flippy.
don't want him so often.
When he's jumping around.
I want him as often as I had Keel.
I want to see him eat more animals.
You would want to see him eat stuff.
Naked.
You have such a sexual attraction to Grogu. You just want to squish him.
Only when we talk off camera.
You just want to squish him. I want to rub his ears.
He's like a stress ball. I'm going to go get a
You
Grogu
want to
stress
squish him,
ball.
watch his eyeballs pop, pop, pop.
That's what I'm into.
All right, how many Grogus out of 10 would you give
For this
The
episode
Mandalorian.
or this season?
This season?
At a 7.5.
I think I like this more than season 2.
75 out of 100.
But yeah, so I give it 80 out of 100. 80 Grogus out of 100 Grogus.
Can you imagine 80 Grogus? Like an army of Grogus?
Can you imagine that back on the Star Wars teats behind the scenes? They must have like 100 little Grogu puppets. It's like a fucking army of Grogus.
I wonder.
That's what I have in my office right now because I 3D printed a whole bunch of little Grogus for Karen's school. I've got like an army of little Grogus on my windowsill.
I would love that life-sized one they released. Did you see the life-size Grogu after the first season? They released like it's like somewhere between $500 or $600 something.
Just out of curiosity,
what would you do with
can
a
it be
life-size?
washed? And are there any orifices? Have you seen?
The
I saw it
mouth
on
opens.
Instagram. It's like $120, but it's a butt pillow. It's like leggings or tights. I don't know the difference, but I think they're leggings, and it's like a butt-shaped pillow.
I'm not surprised this is what comes up on the ads on your Facebook.
It's not Facebook. It's Instagram.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But I'm kind of considered a butt pillow.
Grinder ads
Kind of considered a butt pillow. But I'd want to get one that's like more fleshy,
with some hair.
just around the butthole. Oh, I heard a great joke. If you shave your vagina but don't shave your butthole, it's basically a mullet. That makes me laugh. Don't cut that out. We're sorry, very sorry you've been watching this episode of Watch and Complain. Please follow us on all of our...
If you're still watching, there's like one or two people.
I wouldn't be.
Maybe. Next week, we're taking the week off because my wife's having surgery. But then we're coming back for the 200th episode of Watch and Complain.
Anyways, we're sorry to watch Complain. I already said that. And we hope you have a pleasant Mandalorian evening.